in the end, it comes out to Tom James. Good job! Oh, what a goal! What a goal for Tom James! Oh, that was special!
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Orient Live. It's another massive League One fixture for the O's this afternoon, and they're looking to bounce back from Tuesday night's narrow defeat to Lincoln City as we face Wigan Athletic this afternoon. And it's been a fairly long time without a win for the O's in the league, the last time being on the 14th of October against Carlisle. And despite Wigan suffering a points deduction at the start of the season, the O's will have a tough test on their hands today. But it's all to play for here at Brisbane Road, and I'm delighted to be joined by Orient legends Jabo Ibhere and Glen Wilkie. And I've covered it all there really, but it's a must, not a must win, but we want to win because it's been a while and it's going to be a tough game despite their low position due to that points deduction. Yeah,
definitely. After Tuesday night's defeat and performance mainly, I think that's what a lot of the supporters and everyone was upset with. After that, it's good that you've got a game within a few days, you know, so you can try and get back and put that right and appease everyone. No one likes losing. No one likes losing. No one likes not getting points. I'm sure that the guys have been training hard since Tuesday night, working on a number of issues that they've had and looking to sort of get back to winning ways and scoring lots of goals, because that's been a bone of contention as well.
We had 10 odd days off due to that international break. Maybe that played a part in some of the lads not having football in their legs, but as Glenn has said, back-to-back home games. We've had a lot of home games recently, and we've seen some really good performances here in E10 so far this season. And no matter what the opposition, hopefully they can or encapsulate that again today.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, sometimes when you have like an extended break because of sort of international, you know, it can be a good thing in the sense of you've got a few injuries or you can get your tactics on board. But I do think, you know, judging from like Tuesday's game, we were in it, but it's just like the last third. It's just that something just ain't clicking enough for us to sort of get over the line and get that victory.
Jabo makes a good point. We probably haven't seen as many goals as we'd like to in recent weeks, in recent games. A lot of draws that we maybe could have won against the likes of Barnsley and Burton, but just some goals would be nice, wouldn't it?
Hardest thing in a game, that is score a goal, isn't it, Jabo? You'd know.
Yeah,
especially with forwards. No, I'm not saying any of our forwards are going through a barren spell, but sometimes you know when you're full of confidence that the goal, you feel that you can't miss. A goal looks 100 foot big, but then when you're going through a little spell and there's something in your head or whatever and it's not quite clicking, that goal looks tiny, absolutely tiny, and you're thinking. Sometimes I've known forwards to struggle to think, I can't even control the ball at the moment, let alone shoot and score, you know. So it's crazy, your mindset, what goes on. Not saying that our forwards are like that, sorry. But I just feel today, looking at the stats, looking at Wigan, looking at us, it looks on paper to be a low scoring game, I would say. But then if we get an early goal, this could be one of them games that sparks the season back into life again. You could go on and win 3-4-0 or just have a really good performance in it, and it really sparks you on for another 6-8 games, like sort of run like we went on sort of after them opening games this season.
Well, the O's certainly need a spark ahead of entering that busy Christmas-December period. And of course, don't forget, if you're watching along live on our YouTube preview stream, then UK fans, you can pick up an audio pass to listen along with Dave, Victor and Matt Hiscock, or international fans, you can pick up a streaming pass to watch it right here on Orient Live. But before we go any further today, let's hear what Coach Paul Terry had to say ahead of this fixture.
What can we expect from Wigan?
Very good team, in a false position because of the points deduction, but they're a good team, good experienced players at this level. You know, they'll come and be a threat to us, you know, but it's down to us. You know, we're at home, get the fans behind us, really take the game to them and make it all about us, really.
We're obviously quite a young side ourselves, but how important can our experienced players be in times like this when we have just had a little bit of a setback on a Tuesday.
Yeah, we are young, and like you say, the experienced ones, this is where they come to the forefront of everything. People like Tomo, Prats, Becks, they've been good for the group, and Pigs. They help them get through it, because sometimes you can dwell on it too much, and we have to dwell and look at it and reflect on the performance, but you've also got to move on and get ready for the next game. So them senior players have been a big help this week in doing that, and the younger players, they're learning, and the most important thing is they keep learning. We understand we'll make mistakes, and they will make mistakes, but we learn from them, we move on, and we improve.
Top stuff there from Paul. And now, before we get right into the heart of the matter, let's take a look at how the O's are going to be lining up for this afternoon's fixture. In goal for Leighton Orient, it's our number one, Sol Bryn. We have a back three of Ed Turns, Dan Happy and Brandon Cooper, and then Theo Archibald returns to the wing-back position with Tom James occupying the right side of that wing-back as well. In the midfield, we have Idris El Mazouni and Jordan Brown, and then three forwards in the shape of Shaq Ford, Ruel Sotiriou and Joe Pigott. And on the bench for the O's is Sam Howes. Dan Ajayi returns from that injury he picked up in pre-season. We have George Moncur, Aaron Drinan, Darren Pratley, Ethan Galbraith and Rob Hunt. So it's the four changes from Tuesday night's narrow defeat to Lincoln City. And so Richie's obviously trying to mix it up a little bit. He's given some, obviously Archibald coming back in as a massive boost. Jordan Brown coming back from suspension as well. But he's also made some other changes as well. And you look at Shaq Ford up top, he's going to be hoping for something maybe a little bit different from him.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm glad to see him back out there, because I thought he looked quite alive and sharp, made some good runs, and a bit more vocal. He could have had a goal, because there was that opportunity on Tuesday when Rell took the shot, and I think Shaq was probably better suited to take the strike to score. So hopefully he takes the opportunity, because he's got pace, he's dangerous, he goes into good positions inside the box. So hopefully he takes the opportunity today.
And we said it there, but Jordan Brown coming back from suspension, Theo Archibald coming back from injury. That Theo Archibald one is the one that I think most fans look at and go, great, that's what we need, and especially when playing this back five. You need a wing back with his ability getting forward and getting a ball in to play that when you're playing maybe a slightly more defensive setup.
Definitely, yeah. But the thing about Theo is, we know he's got quality on the ball. He's a good athlete. He can get up and down. But sometimes with his, I was going to say petulant streak in him, I won't. With his nasty side, sometimes when he gets frustrated and he gets annoyed, sometimes that drives the team on. Like when the game's a bit flat and something's not going right, and the crowd are being a bit quieter, sometimes Theo will just lose it in a nice Theo way and just spark a bit of life and energy into the team, into the supporters, and it gets people up and going, and it fires us on. So that, coupled with his ability and how great he is on them wide areas, and the quality he's got with a delivery, and we know what his shooting skills are like. If he can get in the right positions, he's a massive plus for this lineup today. And the other three changes that are coming, obviously Richie Wellings wasn't happy after Tuesday night, and he's made changes and sort of give him a bit of a kick out the backside. Like the players who have been fortunate enough to start today, it's like, well, you're not safe. You're not guaranteed a spot in the first 11. And the ones who have come out, it just gives them something to think about as well.
Certainly does, and Jordan Brown's walked straight back in as well. Him and Idris El Mazouni in those probably two number 8s, you'd call them. They're young, they're energetic, and they're both good on the ball. It's maybe something slightly different to what we had on Tuesday night. Does it show maybe that Richie's trying to attack this game and get into what we know is going to be a strong Wigan side?
Yeah, I assume so, because they're sharp, they're lively, trying to cover the ground quicker than sort of holding off. So I think we'll start the game on the front foot, set the tempo, and Wigan were drawn into. I think they've had penalties in midweek, so they could be emotionally just tired from that. So we have to catch them quickly, and hopefully we're playing Brown and El Miz in the middle. We set the tempo from the off.
And it, of course, can be a fluid formation at times. We've spoken about Theo, he can get forward. And then you look at one of the other changes, it's not a personnel change, but Tom James moving out a little bit further wide into that wing-back position. He's done really well in a back three this season. He's maybe surprised a few with his ability as a centre-back, but we remember from when he first joined the club, at wing-back, the quality he possesses, getting up and down that wing, it's a good option to have, and slightly different to maybe what Rob Hunt offers in that position?
No, he's got real quality on the ball. We know what he's like. He's striking at the ball. His passing is superb. Wouldn't say he's like Theo with his energy levels getting up and down. He's a bit more. He uses his brain a lot more. He'll tuck inside at points, but his passing is sublime. When he gets the ball to feet, and he's got that half a yard before he has to pass the ball on, he always seems to pick out the right pass, and that's really key, because you get players who will pass the ball and we keep the ball, but sometimes it's not the right pass, the sort of defence penetrating pass or something to get us up the pitch early. And after Richie Wellings' comments on Tuesday night, we were very slow in going forward. We need today energy, we need enthusiasm. We've got that in the youngsters, like you've just said. We need to play forward early. I mean, we need to be very aggressive in how we start this game and go about the game. So I think with Tom James in that right sort of wing back position, when he gets the ball, we know he's not going to get his head down and want to run and slow the game down. He gets the ball and 2-3 touches maximum. He get the ball, bang, pass it, and he'll get us up the pitch quickly. That's why I think he's been put into that right wing back.
And then the strikers, Jabo is obviously your area of expertise, and three out-and-out strikers, you could say. I know Richie likes Ruel Sotirio in the 10. We've seen Joe Pigott out wide. But how do you expect those three to shape up this afternoon?
Well, I think it's very interchangeable with because they can all sort of. Pigott showed really well against Carlisle. He can drop into the space and thread some balls through. As Sotirio, clocked that movement and made good runs forward. So I'm hoping to see Ford stretch the play to keep Wigan's line further back. So it creates more room for Sotirio to do his magic, and Pigott of late has been really good at stringing some through balls in. But I want to see Shaq further up, causing some problems, giving him some danger, and then Sotirio getting some room to run and take some shots from outside the box. You
described Ruel as magic. I think it's 7 goals, 3 assists for him now so far, which is good numbers, and it's probably the most he's played in a season consistently. He's the one, isn't he, that maybe when goals are drying up a little bit, he's the one that you want the ball to fall to. You saw his goal against Oxford, a fantastic finish, but he's the one that, in that attacking position, in those strikers, he's the one that can magic something up. Yeah, definitely. He's the one you want at this moment in time. You want him on the ball. Any sort of decent chance, you're very confident he'll finish it. And you don't want to put all the pressure on him, because you want the others to sort of share the load a bit. But the form he's in and the way he's playing, he's the main guy at the moment. For me, he's the most natural goal scorer in the club. Like take anyone in that squad, give him the ball in and around the box. He will hit the target 9 times out of 10. Whether that goes in or the goalkeeper makes a save, he's just one of them players. Tottenham used to have it with Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Fowler at Liverpool, and for England, you had people who are naturally very good in front of goal, and Ruel is like that. You get him a chance, he's going to get a shot off. He's not going to mess around with the ball. He's always looking for that half a yard to then get his shot off, and he is the most natural for me. It's just getting him. With him, we know what he's like sometimes. Yes, he missed a couple of chances Tuesday night, but when he's on form, he gets the ball in and around that. You think goal. You just naturally think this is a goal. You've put him alongside some legends of the game there: Ruel Sotirio, Jermaine Defoe, and Robbie Fowler. Let's take a look at some of the action from Tuesday night, then, Glenn. And he did have a very good chance, which some people maybe said he should have left to Shaq Ford. But as we're saying, we'll come on to it shortly. We had the chances to win it. It just never felt like it was going to drop for us. Yeah, and some games you get like that. You create a few chances. We may not be on top for possession-wise for 60-70%, and you're playing good football. You have bitty games, but for me, that chance there is the biggest chance of the game. It's just, yes, it's a reaction. It's come at him quickly. It's a reaction header, but little things like that, and then I believe is this the opportunity here? No, this is Aaron Drynan. This is Drynan's. Yeah, good to see him getting a shot away. I think it's the chance coming very shortly where it's come through nicely, and I think we'll have the chance after this actually. But we did have a lot of the ball. One of those strikers, if it can't be Ruel Sotirio every time, the others need to start chipping in, don't they? Well, Ford, he goes into some good areas, and I think hopefully, Tom James can just find him and at the back post areas, because he does go into some back post areas really well, and if he's found early, he can score some goals. I've no doubt in that with Shaq Ford. I think he's a really good player. And it was an action-packed game for one that on the night felt fairly boring, really.
Yeah,
fairly boring and disappointing. We really should have done better, and I think this is the chance that falls through to both of them now, Glenn.
Yeah, no, I'm Ford. That's not for Ford. That's Ruel. He's coming onto it, and he looks like he's trying to lift it there, Jabo.
You know why I say it's for Ford, right? Because the way the keeper's moving, he's anticipating Ford. He's coming onto it, but there's a gap just under his arm that Ford was snuck it in. His body was really long, and Shatiria coming at that angle. There's a lot of the keeper to save it. Whereas on Ford, it was just. There's a gap, he would have shot underneath his arm and it would have been in.
All right, let me put this to you, right? You're Ruel Sartoria in that position. The ball drops to you inside the box. You're walking onto goal. Are you leaving it for someone else?
If Ford had...
I don't believe it.
If Ford was confident he was playing more often than not, he would have screamed and took that. It's only because he's just come on, he's a bit mute, he hasn't established himself yet in the team. Ruel scoring the goals, he's like, I'm taking this. But if that was me, I'm burying it. For sure, I'll be raging.
I don't know. No, I still think Ruel's done the right thing now.
That's why you played fullback, Glenn.
Yeah, that's why Ruel's a centre forward, though, isn't it? So there you go.
He didn't score though.
They'll be looking to bounce back from that disappointment, because there was a real feeling of disappointment, despite not playing dreadfully, despite only losing narrowly to a deflected effort. There was a real disappointment. You could argue we were the better team on the night, and so maybe does that make it harder to bounce back and get the win today?
Not really, because listening to the comments that's come out of the club after the game, is they felt that it wasn't an acceptable performance. It wasn't acceptable. There's a lot to work on. There's a lot that we could put right. It's different if you've played really, really well and you've come off the pitch getting beat and you think, all right, we've lost 1-0, but it's like that was our best and we've lost the game. You come into the game today, you think we was below par Tuesday night. We've got a lot of things that we need to work on and we can put right. Even if we go up levels 10, 20%, you should come off the pitch winning, because that's the way it is. But people need to be better in their positions, do their job better. But as a whole group, we need to play as one as well, and there can't be any individual performances out there.
Well, 3 points would be delightful. I think that's an understatement, and hopefully we can bring it to you right here on Orient Live. We've got just under 15 minutes until kick-off, though, and let's take a very short break from the football and take a look at some of the work that the club's been doing with the local guide dogs.
So they may be paired with a guide dog owner that regularly goes to football matches. So obviously we want our dogs to not be chasing the ball, not be shouting, and be okay with crowds and lots of noises and things like that. So bringing them somewhere like here today, it just is a way of starting to get them used to this environment where there's a big green area. A lot of our dogs immediately think they can go for a run when they see a big grassy area.
Orient's known for being a really family-oriented community club where EDI is important to us, and inclusion, and ensuring that everyone who wants to come and enjoy football, whatever their experiences are, is able to come to the ground and enjoy it. So being able to help our local Guide Dogs Association has been really good this morning, watching them in action. We're learning all the time. I think football clubs are trying as much as possible to adapt, and we certainly are. So we're trying to be as inclusive as possible to ensure that everyone who wants to come and watch Orient and enjoy a game of football is able to come to the ground and be treated as equal as anybody else.
They all want the same one, yeah. Even though there's 4 of them, they actually all have the same one. Her husband chose.
What good boys they are. And we've got some other good boys in the studio as well, because Glen Wilkie and Jabo Ibhere have agreed to model our Black Friday range. Isn't it delightful? Look at them.
I feel like a model on QVC. This scarf, by the way, is absolutely gorgeous. Orient supporters out there, order one. Not only does
all right,
it
you're
look
not
great,
commissioned, Glenn. Let's
it's very warm.
Let's move on swiftly from that. But all joking aside, there is a fantastic Black Friday sale on offer this weekend until tomorrow night at 11:59. You can see all the details on the screen now. But until then, you can get 20% off on all online orders, and orders over £50. If you're in the UK, you get free shipping if your order is over £6 as well. And keep your eyes peeled for a Cyber Monday deal that might be coming as well. And let's just talk about the cap quickly, Jabo. You're looking like I was going to say Tony Pulis, but it's a good manager fit for you.
Yeah. If I was on the sideline, this would be quite a good attire. You know what I mean? Don't know what I'll be yelling, but yeah, looks right, fits nicely, you know, does the job.
Lovely.
You'll be yelling, leave it to Ford.
Well, Glenn, you can take it off now if you like, lads.
All right.
It's quite cold.
It's lovely and warm.
It is quite cold in the studio. But anyway, here you go. I thought he was going to head it. Let's take a look at the away team in the shape of Wigan Athletic. And let's take a look at how they're lining up for this afternoon's fixture. And we'll let these two take their gear off. So in goal for the Latics, we have number 1, Sam Tickle. We have Kelland Watts. We have Charlie Hughes, Sean Clare, Stephen Humphreys, Jordan Jones, Liam Shaw, the captain, Callum Lang, Callum McManaman, Omar Rakic, and Babajide Adiko. And on the bench for Wigan is Ben Amos, Tom Pearce, Marshall Godo, Scott Smith, Chris Cezay, Josh McGuinness, and Harry McHugh. So a bit of a strange season for Wigan. They've obviously, I'm glad to see you've opted to keep the hat on, Jabo. It's been a strange season for them. They're probably in a bit of a false position due to that points deduction. They'd be around the playoffs if they didn't have that, and we shouldn't take them lightly just because of their position in the table, should we? No.
They're a good team, very experienced in this league, and you know they've got some key players. One player's out this afternoon, which would be good because he's been in fine form of recent. But yeah, we can't look at the position and think, you know, they're a good team, they're a good outfit, and it'd be a good test for us today.
It's a hard one to call, isn't it? They're missing their main man up top today. I chatted to a couple of the Wigan fans on the high road. They're confident still. What way do you expect this one to go?
Me personally, I think it'll be a low-scoring game. That's what the sort of stats point to. Well, my stats, not the common stats, but I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Looking at the goals for and goals against with both teams, I think Wigan have probably scored about 10, 11 league goals more than us, but we've both conceded the same amount of goals. So, read into that what you will. I just think both teams have not been going out of their way and scoring 3-4 goals over the last good few weeks. I think it will be very tight today, and I think possibly a set piece could be key.
We conceded 3 goals to Oxford. We've conceded multiple goals to teams earlier in the season, the likes of the Stevenage and the Portsmouth game. Obviously conceded a goal on Tuesday night, which ultimately lost it for us. We're going to have to be tight today. We're going to, in front of a home crowd, we won't want to continue that trend of leaking goals, especially when you're trying to make, you know, your home ground your fortress.
Yeah, definitely not. But I think in recent times, throughout the season, I think we've just got more solid as a unit. Although we've conceded the odd goal and the late goal, but I think it needs to start from the front today. I think we need to press. We need to be on it. Drawing them back, and then if we're attacking well, I think we'll stop them.
Stephen Humphreys is their top-rated player. He's got the most goals for them. They're missing Charlie White, but who would be your danger man to watch out for today in the absence of Charlie?
Humphreys is definitely a danger, and one of the guys I was looking at, Marshall Gojo, is on the bench, so because he's a bit of a wing wizard and he's got a few assists this season. But I think a lot of people are saying Humphreys, as much as they've lost Charlie White, Humphreys comes and does a job as well.
We say it most weeks, but despite the opposition, the O's need to focus on their game, play their football. We were in good form in that after that sticky period at the start of the season, and after the last 5 or so games, we've seen that we can play good football, and we've got to believe that and believe that out on the pitch again today.
Yeah, definitely. We just got to go in with the game plan which would have been drilled into them in the last few days about today's game, and Wigan's weaknesses or where we can expose them. We really need to take that on board. And the main thing for me is we need to be disciplined in the way we play. When the ball's high up the pitch and we're attacking, we need to be disciplined at the back. We saw on a clip a moment ago when Dan Happy got caught in a one-on-one and he slipped and they were unfortunate not to score. You can't be leaving a forward 1v1 when the ball's up the other end of the pitch. So we've got to, even though the game's going on up there, defensively we need to have cover there in case they hit us on the break. Just being disciplined in certain areas. It's the boring stuff during football games which supporters wouldn't necessarily see what goes on. When you haven't got the ball, and that's when you need to be very, very sort of focused in case what's the worst case scenario if it breaks down. If we can do that and it will go unnoticed, if we do that and we do that well, then we go back to not conceding goals or giving up many opportunities, and then it's up to us when we do get the ball and we're going forward, our midfielders, our forwards, breaking up pace, using our strengths, especially with Ford in the team. He's a quick guy, you know, getting the ball to these players in the right areas and early enough for them to make an impact.
Well, it's 5 minutes until kick-off. And of course, don't forget, if you're watching along live on our free YouTube pre-match stream, then today's game, you can listen along with an audio pass if you're in the UK, and international fans, you can watch along right here on Orient Live. And with just under 5 minutes going to kick-off, let's remind ourselves of how the O's are shaping up as we face Wigan Athletic. So in goal for Leighton Orient is our number one, it's Sol Bryn. We have our back three of Ed Turns, Dan Happy and Brandon Cooper. In the wing positions, Theo Archibald returns to the starting 11, and on the other side it's Tom James. We have our two in midfield of Idris El Mazouni, who's wearing the armband, and Jordan Brown also returns following from his suspension. And then it's the three in attack in the shape of Shackford, Joe Pigott and Ruel Sotirio. And on the bench for the O, we have Sam Howes, Dan Ajayi, who returns from his injury that he picked up in pre-season. We have George Moncur, Aaron Drynan, Darren Prattley, Ethan Galbraith and Rob Hunt. So, some big calls from Richie really today. When you look at it, a lot of changes, which we've said about the disappointment from Tuesday night. He'll be looking for a reaction, won't he?
Yeah, 100%. And the lads want that reaction. They want to win on the home turf. You know, they want to do a complete performance, and hopefully we'll get it done today.
And Wigan are a big team. We were reminiscing about their FA Cup win against a certain Man City 10 years ago. Their manager played in that game. They're probably quite big for League One. They've obviously got their off-field problems. We can hear their fans already as we're underneath them in the East Stand. It's going to feel like maybe quite a big one with the amount of fans they've got and the size of their club. You can look at it that way. Richie will tell the boys it's just another game, you know. It's just another team in the division. Okay, they're below us in the league. We need to concentrate on ourselves. Yes, it's Wigan. When we've had Portsmouth here or Oxford here or other teams, that they, on paper, are bigger clubs, you know, with better history. We've got to put that to the side. We can't be focusing on that. They'll be noisy. Their supporters have travelled most of the length of the country to come down and cheer their teams on. So they'll be noisy. We just need to keep them quiet, get a goal, silence that away support and sort of push on from there and get a really good performance from our team and hopefully get this win. Players are ready and waiting in the tunnel, Jabo. We spoke about the disappointment of Tuesday and having not won for a little while. What do you think is going through their heads right now? They'll be just taking in the information now. Just thinking, right, what have I got to do? Listen to what Richie's just told me. But I think a couple of them have to just perform today. They've given a chance, and a couple of them will slightly feel the pressure. But once they start running, they'll be ready for it. Right then, it is game time, and it's time now to hand over to our match commentary team of Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.
Brisbane Road. It's going to be a fascinating afternoon. Richie Wellens will be looking for a response after a disappointing result and performance midweek against Lincoln City, and it's going to be tough. Wigan have hit form, particularly on the road. They have lost just one of their last 6 on the travels. Leighton Orient, though, make 4 changes, and Theo Archibald is back. He was definitely missed midweek, Matt.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I think Richie Wellens has used his tactical card there and tried to confuse Wigan post-match, because he said it would be a 10-day absence for Theo Archibald, but yet he starts this afternoon. He comes back into the side, as does Ed Turns, Jordan Brown back through suspension, and Shackford gets an opportunity to start. And as you mentioned, Dave, Wigan, they are certainly decent side, and you know it's a big game when you walk down Brisbane Road and you see outside the away end 5 coaches they've brought from the northwest. Decent following, around 1,000 Wigan fans have made the journey. Good atmosphere already building. Hope we see a good game.